Hey, I have been watching you from behind. How did you create entire report under 5 minutes?
Simple, because I've been using the latest AI features of Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word and Microsoft PowerPoint, I'm able to do all of this work just under 5 minutes.
Can you please teach me the same?
Absolutely I can.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all. Welcome back to Be10x YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to see how to use a formula to extract more than one condition. These are what should I learn in Excel videos. In today's video, the data that I have in here is this, and when I go back to the filter functionality in Excel, extracting the data for a single conditions are too hectic for us to work around. To make our life a little more easier, in Office 2019, 2021 and Office 365, we got a new formula called filter. But again, filter does the job only for one conditional extract. We cannot do more than one condition, but we are about to improvise that formula a little bit to get the result like this here. Again, this is the formula that I got. Now I am getting the following lists here. I'm getting a lot of lists here, so I'm going to say I want to pick up one of the year called 2022, and then I want to pick up a region called Chennai, and I want to pick up the valuation or one of the sales rep called Raji, and then I want to get the sales what she done in a particular product. So when I can extract or when I move this data set, then automatically the data is getting extracted from my raw data set and then it's answering in my filter table here. Let's see how to do this, how to build them up. This is going to be a little longer than normal because I'm going to build 2-3 variants here. So let me just create this from scratch and then I'll show you how I'm going to build all these dimensions one by one. Let us take a brand new page and then we'll start working on it. So I'm going to go back and create a drop down list for the condition. Let's keep a small set of conditions here because I'm giving a huge list here. Let me make it as small as possible. I'm going to take the region wise and sales rep. These are the two conditions that I wish to add in my list here. So let me just come back to my sheet and then add it here. If you're using Office 365 version or if you're using 2019 or 2021 version, everywhere these formulas will work for you. This is another formula which allows you to create a unique list. So I'm going to just give an equals unique, and then I'll go back to my raw data and choose all the regions other than the headers, and then when I give an enter, that's going to populate all my list here. And then you can add a sort in front of it so that that's going to sort the data in an alphabetical order for you. Now I would like to do this logic again. I'll start with a sort, I'll start with a unique, and then I'll go back to my raw data and choose all my sales representative name from that list here. So that's going to give you the list and that's going to give you a sorted list here. So now I got my result that I'm looking forward for, and I would like to keep this as a drop down list here. So I'll place them here and then I'm going to create a drop down list here. So for that I'll go and create a data validation here. I'll come back to data and click data validation here, and then I'll select the list and then come back to the source of data for the region. This should be the data set, and then for the sales rep the list has to be this. So now I can pick and choose who I wanted to see here and how I want to see them here. Now I want to add the data set. Let me just extract, keep the headings coming up across the table. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it somewhere over here. And then let me keep, I don't know how much of data that's going to come into play. So let me take 100 data sets here or maybe 200 data sets here. And then take the copy of the data or the format painters to allow it. So I'm going to go back to the home tab, click the format painter, come back to sheet 3 and then place them below. So when I fill the values, my formats will not showcase a different result. It's going to exactly extract the data set for me, how I see in my raw data set here. So let me expand the data a little bigger once I add the formulas or once I get the extracts here. Normally when I pull a formula on a filter function, the filter function always gives you an answer for only one column of data. So let me just show you how I'm going to do that. I'm going to just come down here and say filter, and then it'll ask you a question. So what do you want to do? It's going to say that what do you want to do here. it says that I'm going to take an array here, so I'll take all the data because I'm going to extract all the data based on one condition here. So I'm going to select the whole data set in this data set, and then when I come back to the downwards here, then I'll go back to my raw data and choose the region alone, and then I'll tell the system if the region is equal to the filter option that I'm going to get is called Chennai, then showcase that alone. When I give an OK, that's going to populate all my Chennai data for me. I have a big list that comes in Chennai, so I'm getting all my list automatically here. But if you go down to the formula of filter again, you will not be seeing the data set which has multiple condition option here. Then how do I handle a multiple conditions here? This is where we are going to improvise our list. That's why I didn't repeat the same logic in our sheet 2. I just created the filter formula differently, and then I just use that formula in a particular pattern here. So when I go down to this point, now we can see that when I gave the conditions here, I gave an * symbol or multiplication symbol in front of the two selections here. So this will allow me to get the data set better, but again I have to improvise it better. Let's go back to the data set, and I would like to filter out that by the other dimensions. To do that, I'll come back here and then add a open parenthesis here, and then I'm going to add a close parenthesis, and then I'll say a star, and then open parenthesis again. And this time around I'm going to take the sales rep list here. So I'll come back to my raw data and select the whole sales rep list here, and then if that is equal to my sales rep available name in my list here, and then I'm going to close the bracket and close the bracket again. When I give an enter, that's going to extract all my data. If you closely scroll this data set around, you will see the number of data are reduced drastically, and then you see only wherever we made as sales in the region called Chennai and Achu here. And if I want to raise this bar a little bit bigger, then I can add one more dimension in our list, that's called year, and then I can start working on it. Before I go down to the third dimension of the data or the fourth dimension of the data, let's go into one more point. In Be10x channel, we are running a workshop on 22nd of October for a 3-hour session on Microsoft Office hacks. How do you use Microsoft Office products effectively using the ChatGPT and other AI tools here? It's a 3-hour program, and you're going to spend a little time to learn about it, and then you're going to spend very little money out of your pocket. If you want to know more about it, please click the description link below, which will take you to the process, and you can understand and you can register yourself for the current program here. So in our previous formula, we created 2 columns. This time around I'm about to create the 4-column data set. So before I do that, I would like to add a name manager for my column and as well as a name manager for the entire data set. So these are the name managers that I've created right now, which is already built in there. So I created a data set for the entire range, and then I can create a data set for all the list here. So let me just delete this all and then show it again how I'm going to use this. So this is the data set that I've done for the entire list, and then I'm going to select the whole column here. I'll give Shift Control F3, which will create my columnar name manager for me. Once I got all the data set here, now I'll jump back to my sheet 3 and then create the following 2 headers. I'm going to create the products and the customer name here. So let me put them here and as well as here. Here I'm going to get the unique list. I'll come back here, unique list. So now I have the name manager coming into play. So I'll just pick the customer and give an enter and then sort them up. By that way, the name managers can be created without going to that sheet. The same product, I'm going to create a name manager. Let me just add a sort in front of it, and then unique later, and then bring the product into play. So now I got my list here. Then if I want to add a data validation here, normally we go to data and do it. And so that I'm going to give an Alt DL, which take you to the data validation screen. Select the list here and then choose this range for the customer drop down. And then I'm going to pick up the next one is called the product drop down, which is again I'm going to give a Control Alt DL and then choose the source of the data from this list here. and I'm going to pick up one simple condition. Let me go back to this point: Madurai, Alagu, Samsung Plaza, and 7 plus. So let me just come back here, Samsung Plaza and 7 plus. Yes, now I can create a filter here. Earlier when I wrote a formula, I wrote it everything manually, and then it is a huge list. Now the formula writing will become very easier. I'm going to go for the filter option here, and then the data array is going to be my data set. So that's the table range that I took. I'm going to give a comma, then I'm going to bring all my data set one by one. So I'm going to give an open bracket. First I'm going to just say region. If the region is equal to Madurai, then I want that to come into play. Then I multiply that with the next point called sales rep. Again, sales rep should equal to be Alagu. Then I close the bracket and multiply that with an open bracket. Again, I'll say customer here. Then I say if the customer is equal to Samsung Plaza, then that's the agenda that I want to see. And the final agenda that I'm going to get right now is product. So I'm going to just say product. That should be equal to Apple 7 plus. Probably you can set the dimension for this also, but I'm just creating it. So now I get only one dimension on Apple 7 plus during the Madurai period, and then when I just move this to Amazon, and then you can see all my lists are coming up differently here. And again, I think that I took the data set in an odd way. Let me just recreate this because I think that the data has moved a bit. Yes, I think that the data has moved a bit. Sorry about that. Let me just, because I moved the data a little bit other way around. So now I can get Madurai, and then I get all my list here. So when I choose the guys, wherever we don't have a specific dimensions or a specific person here, then you won't get those answers coming up here. So when I pick up the Sangeeta here, that gives you a different list. When I pick up the different item, there is no such item comes in place here. And I sold these products from Sangeeta here. This is how we can filter more than one column in a data set using our filter formula. This is Vinod signing out from Be10x YouTube channel. Do like our videos, subscribe our channel, and share this, give us a thumbs up, and know more about us by clicking the bell icon. By that way, all our informative video will be following you as we upload them one after the one. And I should thank all the people who are watching my video because I'm seeing a good responses coming up. And I should thank you all again. And we are doing as good as possible, and we are trying to give you all new content in Excel that we can deliver here. Thank you so much. Happy updating.